Okay guys, so we are going to continue our hair card groom. I think the only thing I'm going to do today is finish filling in the gaps. Hopefully it won't take me too long. I feel like the only major problem there is like the lower back here, some stuff on the side, here, here, around here of course, around the ears, some gaps all around. The top looks decent already, I think. You can hide curves, by the way, by holding Alt and pressing the number 1. Yeah. So I'm going to do same as last week, where I'm going to pause the recording and start again, pause and start as I work through it. So let me get my interface set up. Okay, so I think for this, I'm just going to need GS curve tools and my snap curves to scalp mesh surface script tool. This is a script for it. Again, just to reiterate, I'll have a link to my page, or not Patreon, sorry, my Discord channel below, and you can just join that for free, of course, and the script will be in the tools channel there. If you have trouble finding it, just ask in the Discord. So, you know what? Another thing that might be helpful is having the groomer tools. I like to use this curve fill, which basically just lets me pick 2 curves and fill in a new curve in between them. I'm not going to do that now, actually, because I'm then have to set up the card with the texture again. I think it's easier just to duplicate it. So we have to decide which we want to duplicate. I think this one. Okay, so duplicate. You want to duplicate from the GS Curve Tools menu, because that's going to duplicate the curve with the card. Probably need this to fix orientation. Oh, you know what? I did the wrong duplicate. If you want to hide the cards for a minute, just Control Alt and click on your layer here. And I have to separate into 2 layers. I don't know why, but we can always combine them like that. Okay, and by that I mean hold the middle mouse button down, your scroll wheel, click it, and then drag it over while you're holding that. know what? We also need the script for width. I don't know if I have that up. Let me grab that one. Okay, I have my script open here. I actually have it saved on my my shelf here. That's what that looks like. And what this does, it just, you know, if you go into any curve, you have a line width. This tool just lets you change that to multiple curves at once. Cool. We're just going to take our time filling these in. Let's make this a little smaller. Let's give the little twist. Not too big of a deal because like these are just fill cards, fill layer cards. Like this is going to be underneath the primary groom, card groom. This is just to fill it in, so we don't have to go so dense. So what I recommend doing is when you're working on this stuff, you know, you want to like probably want to put on like a movie or something, or listen to music, something to keep you entertained and stimulated, because you don't want to necessarily rush this. You do want to take your time with it, as I am. You can see I'm not like flying through it right now. I'm being like considerate with everything I'm doing. I'm not gonna lie, like developing the mental um, dexterity to do this for a long period of time is not. It's probably the hardest thing to do about hair. Like the actual process itself, I think as you can see, it's not rocket science. It's pretty straightforward. It's pretty simple. It's just a certain amount of tedium and time consuming. A good hair asset, one that I think you can be proud of, is not something that comes together very quickly in a couple of days. It takes time. Duplicate. You could be also one of those persons where the mental dexterity just comes naturally to you, and uh, in that case, I'm very envious. Generally, when I'm working on this, I'll do spurts of work for usually maybe 20 minutes, half an hour. If I'm feeling really good, I can maybe go for like an hour or two at a time. Oops, didn't duplicate. And then I'll take like a break for 30 minutes to an hour, and then I'll do another hour. You know, it's back and forth. The key is to be consistent and just break everything down into steps, right? Like once you have your primary goal, you know the hairstyle you want to make, then break it down to smaller steps that feel achievable. And basically, as long as you do that, like anything is possible. Like nothing should intimidate you once you kind of learn how to problem solve this stuff. And I did that totally wrong. See, I didn't do the GS curve tools. Duplicate. There we go. Like people are understandably concerned about AI taking jobs, but and I am too, to a degree. But at the same time, I am also look forward and hope AI can improve this process, make it easier. That would be great. The only thing is, AI will need to be able to make the work easier without lowering the quality. Because the only problem with automation is sometimes um, I think it can cause a certain degree of laziness. It can make you less critical, you know? Because if you're taking your time going slow, part of this process is being critical of your own work. Taking a step back. Like every time I'm taking a break, I'm not necessarily just not thinking about the work, you know? I'm taking a step back, I'm thinking about it, coming back at it with fresh eyes, and thinking about what I can do to make it better. Okay. Okay, speaking of taking breaks, I wanted to kind of call this out. Ramiro Haro here has a tool here to make the hair limbic setup process that I show you in my tutorials more streamlined. I have not had a chance to try this tool yet, but I didn't want to call this out. And it looks, based on this, like it might work pretty well. So if you want to skip all of the frustration of running through scripts and everything, I do recommend just like checking it out. It is free, so this is really helpful if this works. I'm gonna try it. We'll do maybe a live stream or do a video kind of going over this next week after I try it, if it works well, and then yeah, give them your support because this is really nice, right? And I will I'll post a link directly to this in the description below. Okay, so for the rest of this is going to be more of the same. So I'm going to work on this with the recording paused, and then I'll unpause and we'll keep going. Okay, I've been working through this a bit. I'm going to let you guys watch a little bit more of this process. I'm not going to talk too much though. So play some music or something else in the background. Or a podcast. I duplicate, I place it, I rotate around a bit, snap at the surface. I hit the apply line width so I can see the curve easier. You can see we're starting to look a little bit better. Still filled in, more filled in, less gaps. There's like a gap in between there. And while we're working on this, we're just making sure we don't have any weird overlaps or anything, and make sure the flow stays nice and consistent. Little gaps down here, but I'm not too worried about those because that's all going to be covered by the primary groom stuff. Fill that in. And this is going to stay on its own layer, so if we need to update this or revisit it after we get the primary groom done, we can always do that. I also want to just emphasize, like, you don't have to do it exactly how I'm doing it. Like, every hairstyle is a problem-solving exercise, and each one you might want to take a slightly different approach. You might want to take a completely different approach. It's about creativity, right? Like, that's why it's art. There's no one just exact perfect way to do any and all types of hair, or a perfect way to do any specific hairstyle. It's gonna vary depending on the person, preferences, your own sensibilities. And I'm saving the stuff around this ear for last. Okay, we're getting close to finished. I did just pause it just now. I just unpaused it. I have a few more bits to go. I should be a little higher. Not gonna worry, like I said, about some of these gaps down here. We'll revisit it if we need to. I think those are probably gonna be okay. I think if we finish this little area around the hair, or the ear, should be in a good spot. I did say I was going to leave this alone, so I think we're good. We can fill that in maybe a little bit. Okay. And that. Yeah, I don't want to turn it too much. I think the hair split's gonna be fine, but and the scalp is blacked out on the I think we have the follicle mask applied, so that'll still apply with this too. Yeah, I think this will work for our fill layer. Doesn't have to be super perfect or super pretty. Let's compare it. It's our Groom fill layer, right? And in Unreal, this is gonna look nicer than it does in Maya. Maya doesn't do card transparency super nicely or cleanly. The main things we just need to make sure we're doing well is that we have good density, so the outline of the head isn't showing through too much without shadow turned on, because that's its primary purpose for this layer. Yeah, and so when we do the full thing, and we may need to push down some of the fill layer stuff because it does look like it goes a little bit above, but we'll address that later on. Okay. So next time, either next weekend or after that, we're going to focus just on recreating this primary body stuff. Which is everything below a certain point. So we're going to do this with cards next. All right, so we are at 32 minutes for this video, which is good. That's basically what I want, as opposed to like an hour plus. So again, check the description for the Discord. I'll also link that tool on ArtStation. And yeah, share your projects if you're working on something too. I'd love to see it. Thank you.